Can I just point out that if I record this and the hat looks daft, I am not re-recording it, okay? That's what I look like. And this is what I sound like. I have a terrible cold, I'm sorry. So, having only recently come back from Geneva, last weekend, I went to Amsterdam. I went with the University of Warwick Archery Club. Look, we have t-shirts for tour. I could have worn this one, but instead I went for the bright orange one, because that's the sort of person I am, if you don't know me by now. So yeah, the point of the trip was to have an archery competition on the Sunday, because we weren't the only university that went, otherwise it would be fairly pointless. There were also people from Birmingham, Manchester Met, Hull and Derby. So we had a good competition on the Sunday, but we had the Saturday free to do what we wanted in Amsterdam. And Amsterdam is a very pretty city. There are lots of canals though, and everywhere just looks the same, right? It just does. I mean, all these pictures were taken on different canals or facing different directions or something, and they all look exactly the same. I might as well have just stood in one spot and waited for the sun to move round. First thing we did Saturday morning was hire some pedalos and go out on the canals, and that was a lot of fun. Because there were 22 of us that got together and decided that that was what we were going to do that morning. So that meant that there were, come on Sam, you can do maths. There were 6 pedalos out, and it kind of turned into a bit of a game of dodgems. Like, because there were bridges, obviously, and there were little gaps, and there would be a fight to see who could get into the gap first. There were also big boats on the canals, so we really did have to play dodgems for those. And all of this is made slightly more difficult by the fact that pedalos only have one speed. No matter how fast you pedal, and I can say this because I was pedaling, no matter how fast you go, the pedalo goes at exactly the same speed. So when you think I'm gonna overtake, I'm going for it, you can't. You just pull out and then pull along at the same speed. It doesn't work. We also ended up going through a no entry place because someone decided that the no entry sign was in fact not a no entry sign but just a flag. That ended well, as you can imagine, and resulted in our pedalo having to backpedal. Actually, I think that was a different point. But anyway, at one point we ended up having to backpedal to get out of the way, and some driving skill was required to then. Yep. I should add that I wasn't driving, so when I say that our driver was very good, I'm not being cocky. One of the other things we did in Amsterdam was find a fun fair. It turns out that in one of the squares in Amsterdam at the minute there is a fun fair. So we saw the big wheel from afar and headed towards it, and it was, you know, your pretty fairly average fun fair kind of deal. We went on the big wheel. There was a really lethal looking ride next to the big wheel that we watched and listened to everyone scream on, and decided that we would never ever go on. There was also an archery stall, which was quite hilarious, because we all walked past it and were like, look! Look! They had like the piddly wooden training bows that they have at the club for the new novices, and they had some balloons for you to pop on a boss, and yeah, a few of us had a go, which resulted in some jokes that you'd only understand if you'd done archery, which is annoying somewhat, because I don't want to have to say them and then explain them, because that'll just ruin it. And it was also slightly painful to watch the various other people having a go at this stall, having had no coaching whatsoever. They literally, all the people on the stall said was like, you know, here is a bow. This is how you put an arrow on the bow. There you go. There's a bit more to it than that. And all of us were looking on with quite pained expressions, especially those of us who are coaches, and we're just like, no, I just want to coach them. I want to give them coaching, but I can't. The other thing we did on the Saturday was go to the Sex Museum in Amsterdam. And someone had described it to me beforehand as somewhere that you only really want to go once. Which I think is the most accurate description of the place, and I'm going to leave it there. And then there was the Sunday of competition, which was fun. I didn't shoot particularly well, personally, but there was only one other female longbow, and she shot even less particularly well than I did. So I have a shiny, and because there were 2 sessions, so you shot 30 arrows, and then the other session shot 30 arrows, and then you shot your other 30 arrows, and then the other session shot their other 30 arrows. So while you weren't shooting, they had a range set up outside so that you could practice. And then they also brought out these like foam rubber animal things to shoot at. That was quite fun. Headshotting a toad. Yep. Hang on, did I just make headshot into a verb? And there's kind of not a lot else I can say about that, because yeah, it wouldn't be particularly interesting to you. Although actually, one thing the place that were hosting this tournament did for us, they did food. One of the things they offered, chocolate sprinkle sandwiches. Literally, it was a bun with some chocolate sprinkles in it. And it was brilliant. That's kind of it for my trip to Amsterdam. This was probably a really disorganised video, I apologise. But I hope you liked it anyway. Yep, that's it. See you next time or something, I don't know. Bye!